What's up, this Jay-Z.
Hey yo, this is Eminem.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Drizzy Drake.
Yo, what's up, this is Usher.
This is Big Snoop D-O double G.
Man, it's your boy Two Scoop.
You know it's them GS boys.
Yeah, man, it's Spice One.
This is your boy, Bad Boy Billy Sly.
Hey yo, wings up, this your boy Judah the Priest.
Yo, what up? It's the one and only Murphy Lee.
Yo, this your boy B-Mac Banks.
That's right, it's your boy Havoc the Mouthpiece from the South Central Cartel.
This is Steve Arrington, a.k.a. The Invade, only on KFSM Radio.
KFSM Radio.
On KFSM.
KFSM Radio.
KFSM Radio.
On KFSM Radio.
KFSM. It's your radio station. KFSM radio station. KFSM radio station. I'm tuning in.
Yeah, welcome one, welcome all to Celebrity Talk with your boy Too Deep. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody, cause it is going down tonight, baby. Born and raised in South Central LA, you know what it is, but now he repping A-Town in the building, baby. Put your hands together for the singer, songwriter, actor, producer, author. Oh my God, there's so many titles, I don't know what to do. The one and only Grammy-winning Montell Jordan, baby. Yeah.
What's up? What's up?
What's good with you, family, man? We turned up on a Monday night, man. How you feeling, my friend?
Man, I'm great. Fantastic. Glad to be with you on this Monday. Honored to be able to share your platform with your people that listen to you, and with the station that's been supporting me throughout the years and everything. It's good to connect, man.
Amen. We're just proud to be a part of your amazing career, man, and what you have going on, and for you taking time out of your very busy schedule to be a part of us, man. I just want to dive on in because you got so much going on. I don't know if we can cover it all in an hour, so we just gonna dive right into this thing, man, and do it. This is how we do it. That's since we knew you was coming. That's all it's been about. This how we do it. I got the white boys at work singing this. This how we do it. Everybody doing it, man. How was it when you got into the business, man? I know you started out kind of young, man. You got in and you worked with a lot of major celebrities, but when you dropped that joint, man, with the little slick Rick joint in the back, tell me about it, man. How that had to be like an amazing feeling. That come on.
Well, this is how we do it. Is it's a crazy story behind it. First of all, the cool thing is, it used a Slick Rick sample, Slick Rick the Ruler, children's story, and he and I and our wives are very, very close to this day, which is super cool. That my mentor and my hip hop mentor, the guy that I looked up to, even as an R&B singer, I looked up to him as a rap artist to get my style as a rap singer to kind of do what Slick Rick was doing as a rapper. I wanted to do that as a singer. So me even getting to Def Jam with that song was just super cool that the guy would work it out that way. But the idea behind This Is How We Do It was when I was doing my college thing, I was out of Pepperdine University. During that time when I was doing my partying, my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi stuff, every party, every DJ that was a dope DJ, DJs be telling stories even through their playlists as they setting up the night, they setting up the slow jams, they setting up last call for alcohol. A good DJ, he's telling a story all night. And one of the stories I always would feel is if the party was closing at 2 a.m., right around 12, 12:15, 12:30, that DJ start turning the course of the night. And every single DJ at that time when I was younger, children's story, you wasn't playing children's story at 10 o'clock at night or at 11 o'clock. It was in your final hour and a half set where you just boom, boom, boom. And so children's story was such a banger and the floor would always be packed every time. And I always said, man, if I ever get a chance to sing over that record, I'm going to sing over that record. And so literally Slick Rick made it a hit. I was able to come alongside and together we made it a classic. And so that's kind of our story together. He made it a hit. We took it together and made it a classic. And 25, 26 years later, This Is How We Do It is still a song that if you play it, you put it on, it still causes a reaction.
Crazy. I took my son and a couple of his friends paintballing yesterday, so I'm a little sore, right? Because shooting them up. And we're on our way, and he got his playlist. He playing The Baby and all those new cats and stuff. He says, "Yeah, Dad, you don't know nothing about this." And he started playing Slick Rick. And I'm like, what? Children's story? I'm like, get out of here. So now I'm singing it, I'm leaning and I'm driving. They looking at me like I'm crazy because I know all the words. I was like, oh no, I got something for you. This we got on Monday, and I play. I said, man, we know this is how you do it. So I got these little kids in the back jamming. I'm like, man, if I could just record this and not go to jail tonight, this would be awesome right now.
Good parenting, by the way. The fact that they know this is how we do it and Slick Rick, that's good parenting right there.
That's right. They gotta know what's going down. Keep them in their roots. Keep them in their roots. So
Yes, sir.
I've seen you out here, man, and you've been really doing a lot. Like one of my favorite movies, and a lot of people don't know. Not only are you a singer and songwriter, but when you started blowing in that Fighting Temptation song, I was like, yo, do they understand what's going on right now? What is happening? How is it with the transition, from, because a lot of people don't understand that being an artist and making music is one thing, but then getting into acting, that's something different because it's not really you, your feelings, you're portraying someone else's, how they wanted to come off. How was it to play that part and especially be around all of those stars in that movie?
Man, I had the best time. That was probably the best 3 or 4 months that I can remember during my music career because I got to tuck away. And I was spending, I had all the tattoos on my neck and on my arms and everything. And I had an artist that I had to get started. We were filming at 9 o'clock in the morning. I had to be on set by like 5 o'clock in the morning so they could do all the painting of the tattoos and everything, and do my hair and all those different things to prepare for the set. But the cool thing was that we really bonded as a family on the set with Beyonce, Cuba Gooding Jr., the OJs, Eddie Levert Sr. Like, man, we had a ball. We would be sitting in my trailer. I'd be getting tatted up. We was playing video games. I'd be giving them that Madden. I'd be giving them the business in the trailers. But it was fantastic. What was crazy is that I found out from an actor standpoint, I had to be a method actor. And most people don't, I guess the general public doesn't understand what method acting, I guess, is. But that is where you get into character before you get into character. So for me, I was playing this character of a prisoner, but I'm a jokey joke kind of guy. I like to laugh. And so when I'm on the set, supposed to be this hardened criminal, and Cuba Gooding Jr. comes up and he start dancing and joking around and kikiing, I start laughing and they be like, cut, cut. And this was before digital film. Like we burning film. We burning actual film because I can't stop laughing. And so eventually some people had to pull me aside, some of the mature veterans on the set, and they were like, yo, Cicely Tyson, when she played a role, when she showed up on set, if you called her anything other than the person that she was playing, she wouldn't answer to you. So I literally had to come on set as this character Johnson, this criminal. So even while people would be having lunch and hanging or whatever, I would just be tucked away, just looking like hard or whatever, because when they were going to make me laugh or whatever, I need to be able to be like, my name is Johnson, and just be able to lock and load. So I wasn't the goofball wasting everybody's money on the set.
Hey, man, that's what's up. I love it. Now, it takes a lot. I know a lot of songs are coming out now. We kind of grew up in the drug dealer era of music. And now our kids are kind of growing up in the drug user kind of era of music. How, because I know you still dropping music. I know you just dropped one, like 3 months ago?
Yeah.
Like When You Were Around Me, right?
When I'm around you, yep.
And you're still, it's still relevant. You're still making relevant music. How hard is that to really stay relevant? But let's stop there because then I have a follow-up question. So how hard is it to really stay relevant? Because the music kind of changes. You can almost mumble some stuff, but still blowing, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I think people, today's music is about trying to stay relevant with content. But I'm from a time period where it wasn't about content, it was about artistry. So in other words, for me, I'm a hip hop R&B singer, but the music I love to listen to, like I love Sade, I love Prince, I love Hall and Oates, and so for me, I'm a supporter of Sade and Prince and Hall and Oates, whether they putting out music or not. I stream their music. Every year I go to a record store and I purchase a Hall and Oates CD, a Sade CD, and a Prince CD. And they don't have to have a song on the radio because I bought into their artistry. And so I think what you see now is maybe if people know who I am, it's not because of a song. Hopefully it's because I like him as an artist. I like his style. I like his videos. I like his swagger. I like all of that stuff. And so you're trying to buy into the artist opposed to the song. So all the babies and the little babies and the little this and all those folks, there's a lot of littles, there's a lot of littles. So I understand that, but I think the challenge is for not people to just connect with because you got a song right now, but do they connect with you as a human, as an artist, as somebody who's relevant? So songs will come and go. I think artistry is what keeps you relevant. So yeah, I'm not trying to sound like anybody else that's out there right now. I'm not trying to put out a record that sounds like trap or sounds like this or that. I just got to be me. I got to be true to who I am as an R&B hip hop artist. And when you play my new music, I got an album out now called Masterpiece, Peace, Master Peace, and the album is fire and the album is relevant. People may not know about it, but it doesn't make it any less fire or any less relevant. It just means that in this day of social media or people following people, they're following songs or they're following trends rather than following artistry. And I'm just hoping that people see me and if they catch on to it, it's like, oh, yo, this dude put out an album and it's fire. I'll take the slow burn, you know what I'm saying, over the quick burn any day of the week.
Oh, amen. That's real talk. So we're in the music and you start talking about the slow burn and how we get into that. So before we get there, you got your bachelor's degree, done a lot for your life, and as a young black man, I have to just applaud that in itself because especially get into the industry at such a young age, your career, understand that education is knowledge is power, have a wonderful family. Can you speak to some of our young independent artists that are out there that's 16, 17, 18 that have talent that's looking to get signed, but they're like, man, if I make the $5 million and I quit, how important is it to really have that education because they're not understanding BDS and ISRC codes and different things like that. How important is it to get that knowledge along with the role?
Yeah, well, if you look at the word music business, the word business is bigger than music.
Oh.
If you look at the word music industry, the word industry is bigger than music. And, one of the things you can do as a young aspiring artist is to understand that, this is what I didn't understand. I knew a lot, but, when I was upcoming, I would say, man, I love music so much, I would do it for free. That was my thing. I love music so much, I would do it for free. I just didn't think the world was listening when I said that because a lot of labels and a lot of people, they expect you to do it for free. And even the way the world is constructed today, the music business, people ain't buying records and buying albums and stuff now. They like streams. And so it's kind of like you doing it for free now. And so you trying to build up YouTube followings and get endorsements and things like this, a very, very different game. So what I would say to aspiring artists is understand the landscape that you are trying to function in. Understand that if your social media numbers need to be bigger, do it legitimately. Don't go and try and buy them and try and build up something that's not real, because if you do that, at some point, you're going to find out that your 2 million followers is really 20,000. And when they pull the rug out from under you, you have to be able to stand on what you've built. I would also say when it comes to music and business or music and industry, it's smart to be able to have an understanding of industry and business more than just the craft of music. Because if you understand half and not the whole thing, you'll find yourself doing music, but you'll be a disgruntled artist because, yeah, you're making music, but you didn't understand the business and you didn't understand the industry of it. And when you do that, you basically can get taken advantage of.
Man, that's deep. Wow. That's for real. So making music like slow down a little bit somewhere around 2010. He was like, you know what, man? I don't know. I think we all kind of have a spiritual awakening. I know I did. I've probably been dead in 2010 if the Lord wouldn't have slapped me upside the head real quick.
Come on, come on.
Started to pursue passion. And can you tell us a little bit about that? Do you mind sharing your story with us for a minute?
Yeah, man. I was brought up in church, and the way I would put it is, I was always in church, but church wasn't always in me. So I was brought up musically, always in church. Anytime the church doors was open, I was up in there, and I would hear people tell me all the time, "Boy, you gonna preach one day? Boy, you got a calling on your life." And I'll be like, "Nah, you got it wrong. I don't want to be no preacher. I don't, it's not something that I wanted to do. I wanted to live my own life and do it my way." And I thought that God, for whatever reason, when you're a kid, you think God's supposed to speak to you like, "Montell, you are called to preach. Too deep. I want you to be, but it wasn't that voice. It was just people, that would be talking and say, you got a call on your life. I think God has got something great in store for you. And, I never knew that. And so I ran from a calling, or, that's a church word, calling. For those that are watching this or listening to this, calling, another word for that is purpose. If you understand that you have a purpose on your life and you know what that purpose is, you either answer that purpose or you don't. So a lot of things, I did not want to answer the purpose or the calling on my life. I wanted to use the gift that came along with that purpose, but I wanted to use that gift and that talent for me and not for the purpose that I was given the gift for. So what that does is, if you are gifted and you're using that gift in something you're not called or purposed to do, you're basically prostituting your gift because you're using it out of the place where it's supposed to be used. So you're basically functioning in something that God gave to you, but you're using it in other things that'll never bring you satisfaction. So that was some of the things that I had to learn. And then later on in my life, I was, the rising and falling of the music business. It was crazy. The people would, I'd have hit records, Grammy nominations, millions of albums sold, number one records. It's still, after all these years, Deep, there's still people that, say, "Oh, Montell Jordan, that one hit wonder, the guy that only had one hit," and I'll be thinking to myself, when you say one hit, which one hit are you talking about? Or did you mean one hit, or did you mean number one hit? Because I've got four of them myself, number one records, and then we got the number one records with Deborah Cox. We got number one records with Cisco. Like, we've been number one. So when it comes to that, I looked at the gift that I was using for music, but never got fully satisfied because I was using my gift outside of what I was purposed to do. And so when you're not satisfied, it causes you to make all types of bad decisions. Dude, I would have a number one record on the charts, number one record, all over the nation. You got the number one record, and be sitting there like, okay, so what do you do now? You celebrate, pop a bottle, and then it was like, okay, so now what? You got to try and have another number one record, and you get another number one record, and then it's like, oh, so what do you do now? Try and have another number, is because it never satisfied. And so part of my journey going into ministry was, I didn't want to just do the same thing over and over again, get a reality TV show, go on tour again, put out another album, and still never be satisfied. And the only thing that I found a satisfaction in was in God, was in Jesus. I'm a Christian, a born again believer in Jesus Christ. And from that standpoint, that's the thing that gives me the peace that if I don't get no more Grammy nominations, if I don't pick up a mic ever again, I'm fine with that, because I know who I am outside of music. Music doesn't make me, I make music. And so from that standpoint, I just know who I am in Christ, and he defines me, not music. So if I ain't got a hit record, it's not like I fell off. You know what I'm saying? And even when you say somebody fell off, you got to realize they had been on
On to fall off.
to
Amen.
fall
Come
off.
on.
So, you got to recognize that part.
Right.
But
That
yeah,
part.
man, it's part of my journey.
So, and I'm the same way. I know we're not the same, but a lot of young men like us have those same or similar journeys. KFSM Radio stands for Kingdom, Family, Strength, and Motivation. I'm a Christian, Baptist, I don't know what you call it. I love Jesus. I love God, Yahshua, whatever you want to call him. That
There you
one right
go.
there, he's my Lord and Savior. And that changes us because the way that I was moving as an artist or the way that I was moving in the industry at all, no matter what it was I was doing, and I didn't feel that fulfillment. I needed something else. I'm a major artist. This wasn't enough until I sat
Yeah.
down and I realized what my calling was. Here, have an interview, able to pull the Lord out of people or just experience that with how He saved them and how He's moved and the things that you've been able to do since then. So, got in your ministry, you chase it down. He chased you down, yo, jump out, whatever you want to call it, right? And then you and your wife sat down and y'all wrote some books. So I know you got a couple books out. One is Coming Unfamous, and that just comes. Let's talk about that one because you just talked about talking about falling off. You had to be on in order to come down and fall off. That sounds just like becoming unfamous. Tell me a little about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, my journey of going from the music business into ministry, that was me answering my purpose of me and my wife desiring to do ministry together. And so in 2015, we co-wrote a book together, which is a marriage book because while I was wilding out in the music business, I was not faithful to my wife. And we had a testimony where God came and He saved our marriage. And so we wanted to be able to reach people in the business and entrepreneurs. We wanted to reach everybody regarding what God did for us in our marriage. And so we wrote this amazing book and we were giving it to certain people saying, hey, read this, read this. And people were like, yo, this is crazy. This is amazing. But why is the R&B guy writing books about marriage? That don't make any sense. So people still hadn't picked up that I took the journey from the music business into full-time ministry. They just saw the This Is How We Do It guy wrote a book on marriage and they didn't understand that. So I had to backtrack, pause the marriage book and go back and write a book called Becoming Unfamous, The Journey from How We Do It to How He Do It, which is my autobiography that tells the story about how I went from the music business into ministry. A lot of people think, oh, you went from R&B to gospel. That's not what I did. I literally went from a life as a recording artist into a life of full-time ministry where for almost 5 years, I didn't sing for no R&B. I didn't tour. I didn't do no shows. I literally completely, and here was the deal. What I did, Deep, was I had made music an idol for me. So because music it became my God. It was, listen, if I need to go get some paper because this is due, I don't have to depend on God. I can go to This Is How We Do It and I can go get this, I can go get what I need. And so when I replaced God for with my musical stuff, then what started to happen is God says, I'm a jealous God and you don't put no other gods before me.
One God.
Exactly. And so he started to showing me, okay, that can't be your God. I'm your God. I started to try and see, okay, well, if I'm not doing music, I don't know who I am. If I don't know if I'm not doing music, I don't know who I am. My identity was in music. And so God had to show me because he loved me. He had to God doesn't want me to live this life and not know who I am. So if I don't know who I am, he was gracious enough to say, being you don't know who you are without music, let me go ahead and show you who you are without music. And so the fame, the notoriety, the music, all of that stuff came to a dead halt. And I was trying to figure out, and listen, God was gracious though, because while he was taking me through that journey, didn't nobody even know it. Like, dude, like I'm getting cars repoed. Nobody know who what's going on. No records. I'll be walking through the airport trying to go overseas to go get them euros to bring them back. Because I'm not popping here in the States. And people see me in the airport and like, yo, that's Montell Jordan. Where you at, man? Where's the new album coming? You in the studio right now? And I'm like, dude, I didn't, life is just crazy. And people looking at me like I'm not going through nothing because God shielded me and I was going through it and nobody even knew. But God was showing me without a microphone, without a stage, you are still a son, you're a husband, you're a father, you're a giver, you're a leader, you're a friend. I had to learn all the things that I was if I never picked up a mic again. So long story short, I tell that story in the book, Becoming Unfamous. And then as I tell that story, I could then later release the book, This Is How We Do It, Making Your Marriage a Masterpiece, which explains why I wrote the autobiography so that people understand that ultimately it was to segue my old life to my new life of doing marriage ministry alongside my wife.
Amen. Amen. I'd like to welcome everybody that's tuned in to the YouTube live with us. Shouts out to Reese. I see you, Compton, out there talking, chatting it up. T-Dub Buffalo in the house. I see you. He say, man, he loves your music. He used to roller skate to all your hits. And he say you still look. He say black don't crack because you still like you ducked in your 20s, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Come on. Appreciate that. It's
That's what's up.
51. I'm half a hun, man.
Hey,
I'm half a hun looking good.
yeah, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. So y'all here working, man, and this 20 can't really talk about any interviews without talking about what's happening right now. I'm not scared of COVID, but I don't want it. So
Yeah.
practicing the social distancing. If you can hear me with my mask on, I have my mask on right now, just making sure we can't touch.
Yeah, that's right.
Coronavirus up in this joint. How is Corona affecting you positively, negatively? Talk to a lot of artists and like, oh man, I was gonna drop my album, but coronavirus. Oh, I was gonna do this, man, but Corona. How has that really affected you? And how's your family adjust changes that, especially being in Atlanta?
Yeah, it's a crazy season, man. Just to be real, it's like I said, my wife and I, we went into full-time ministry at the top of this year, and we were planning on, I was going to Europe with Keith Sweat, you know what I'm saying, for 2 weeks, and that was shut down, and we had conferences and date nights and weekend speaking engagements, all of that. Your auntie Rona came into town and shut everything down. She said, ain't nobody doing nothing. And so when Auntie Rona showed up, it changed everything. But what it did do was it caused us to slow down and really pause from the regular hustle of life to be able to realize that it's a lot of stuff that we do, man, that's not necessary. It's a lot of things that get our attention that don't deserve our attention or our affections. And so what that does, or what it did for us, is that pause allowed us to reconnect as husband and wife, allowed us to reconnect as family. We spent some amazing family time together, just everything from playing Monopoly and watching movies. Like, our family reconnected, man. And
I believe you starting fights in the black community.
Yeah,
Don't let me be the beggar because you know I'm gonna win.
you can get exiled from the family of the Jordans or whatever if you can't hold your own. You do dumb deals at the table. You be like, yo, you can't play no more. But literally, it caused us to reconnect. It has been hard because I have a son who's now supposed to be a senior. He's a senior in high school. Last football, basketball season, and we don't even know if things are going to open up or not. My 8-year-old is probably taking it the hardest because she's a straight extrovert, and she's like, she want to be around her friends. She don't want to be sitting on a Zoom like us. She wants to see and sit with her friends and go run around on the playground, and she wants to be a kid. And so it's definitely changed, how people interact with other people. And I think my biggest fear, if I have a fear of this whole thing, well, two fears. One is that we, in our preparations of being compliant to social distance, that socially distancing doesn't cause us to spiritually disconnect from each other. And that's something that's super important. You can be socially distant and not go to a church, but then you watch it online and you're not connecting or worshiping or lifting your hands. You're just kind of watching it because you're spiritually disconnected because of the social distance. So that's one of my fears. And then my second fear is that a lot of people want everything to go back to normal. And I don't think we're going back to normal. I think that uh, rushing back for things to get back to normal, there are a lot of things that aren't worth rushing back to. And I think if we understand that some things just aren't worth rushing back to, then we understand that there's a new normal that needs to take place. And I want us to be good with what the new normal is going to be.
And I know I do that too. And I'm kind of guilty because I thought myself, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, we had a associate pastor come in and do something. So I'm sitting there, and I'm listening and I'm engaging. My wife got up a little late. She's like, "Oh, you want something to eat?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So now I'm listening to the pastor, but I'm really not, because now I'm helping her cook bacon and really not engaged in the service. So
Yeah.
this Sunday, yesterday came by, I'm sitting there and I was like, you know what? Something wasn't wrong. My whole week was discombobulated. I need my word. That's what helped me keep from stay out of, and even had to use my AK. I gotta say it was a good
Yeah.
day. That's because I heard the word on Sunday, baby. So
Yeah, baby.
Sunday, I got up early and that we do like 3 different services. Shouts out to Pastor John Jenkins, First Church of Glen Arden, Baptist Church of Glen Arden, and he's preaching. And I'm, yes, Lord, thank you, hallelujah. I done woke the whole house, and they like, what the heck is going on with you? What's happening? I was like, y'all need to get up, get into this church service right now, because we have to engage. And I believe that that's one thing that this whole thing is happening, because we have to do the distancing. We even have people saying, well, you don't really have to go to church. You really don't have to gather. And we do. We need to have that unity. We need to have those people around us, because you never know what's going to happen, and we need it. And those are the people. Church ain't all good people. It's us broken people trying to get good. So
Yeah,
you need
yeah,
those kind of people around you. So we'll just
absolutely.
keep going, because I can do church all night long. We turn this into a whole sermon up in
All
this
good.
joint.
It's all good.
Let's get into the music a little bit. There's some things that's happening that's been around since, and people hear it and they experience it every day. And there's kind of sort of music industry, kind of sort of giving out little hints, like, because now you got the coronavirus songs, and they hear the NFL songs, and they hear the music and all of the commercials, but they don't understand recording houses and how to get into the movies and how to get your music on video games and different things like that. Was that something that was hard for you to experience, or because you are already having the #1 hit and out there and being like second R&B artist of all time signed to Def Jam, did those things come relatively, or that still was something that you had to learn and work to get into?
Well, the business was very, very different right then. Like I said, if you got to understand, any young artist or any artist that's doing that thing right now, you got to understand the landscape of music has just changed. It's like I can honestly say, even with like the album that I dropped, the Masterpiece album, um, I went through an old thought process of, oh, well, if you dope and people know you, they're gonna go out and they're gonna get your music or whatever. But people don't necessarily, like they used to go out on Tuesdays and buy the new album. They're not doing that no more. Or even if you have the option to go to iTunes and purchase the album, you might just go to Apple Music and stream it instead. It's a very, very different business right now. And so because of that, I think it's just a tougher thing. And so, like I said, social media following is huge right now. Product placement is huge right now. So it's not just trying to get radio play and sales to try and move you up the charts. It's a whole different thing right now. You might not have a song on the radio at all, but you get on Madden, 2021, Madden 21, and that thing sells 1 million coming out the box, out the gate. You're on a platinum selling, project or whatever. And so it's like, I think product placement and companies that help do that, that's a big deal. I wish I probably should have done that. I should have secured somebody to help me with my hot records or whatever, to say, hey, can you get this on a television commercial? Are there any movies looking for songs here, or it's really about placement now of these songs in the right, in the right arenas. And if you can do that, it's super, super helpful. That's something that people need to be aware of. And that is what it is. It's the nature of the business. It's very, very, it's a very different business, man.
Now, y'all know if you look down, if you just look on down, right down there into the description box, we got some information down there. Montell Jordan has taken his time out to graciously grace us, experience and all of this knowledge, man, giving it to us. Make sure that you tip the button, hit the tip button, man. Tip Montell Jordan. And if you have any questions, we would love to welcome you into our Zoom. Gotta charge you for that because the Bill man don't pay. He didn't listen to Donald Trump, and they still threatening to turn stuff off right now. So, so we asked for a tip for the artists, but we do got some questions coming in. T Dub says, man, his biggest question is, what is normal people crazy? What is normal people crazy?
What is normal people crazy?
Oh,
I have no idea what normal people crazy.
normal
Probably
people crazy is walking around knowing that hundreds of thousands of people getting corona. You still don't want to put a mask on.
yeah.
People
That is.
crazy.
I get that. I get that. It is there's videos and stuff circulating around with, people who are just wilding out, or doing, freak parties, or whatever. And I was young. I was wilding out in my college days, and so I understand it. But I think also at the same time, it wasn't like anything that was like a viral thing that nobody had answers to. That was. I just think it's so important, man, for us to socially distance, to wash our hands, and to do that, because everybody that we're seeing, and stars and not stars, everybody that's getting this, they're all saying it's not something to play with. When DL Hughley had gotten it, and they were like, DL, like, what happened, dude? What were you doing a comedy show? What were you doing? And he was like, yeah, man, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
like everybody that's getting it is like, yo, I took a shot, or I didn't take it as seriously as I could have. And, and people that are super, super careful with it, like our Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, here in Atlanta. And then she got it, and one of her kids and her husband. It's like, and every time you see them, they're masked up and gloved up. And so if you masked up and gloved up and can still get this thing, listen, it's just for a season for us to figure out what this is, and, if we can do that, I think we'll all be safer.
Hey man, shouts out to Mason Bay, super artist out there out of New York. He says, salute Montell Jordan. I see you. And Reese would like to know if you can give us again the name of your gospel album, any gospel music. Probably gonna stream it.
Yeah, yeah, right. What the cool thing is, I did with a church, Victory Church in Atlanta, Georgia. We did some gospel projects. We did an album called Shake Heaven. If that's a project that you would like to check out. We also did a gospel project called Covered. But just so you know, what I'm more excited about is this masterpiece album that I just released. It's not a gospel album, but it is an R&B album from the vantage point of a guy who loves Jesus and who loves his wife and loves his family. So there's nothing compromising on the project. My wife and I, we do marriage ministry together, and sometimes we do it in the hood, sometimes we do it in churches. And when we go places, like if we're doing a marriage conference at a church, a lot of times there's records you can't really play in the church because pastors be getting all funny with it. So rather than them being mad because I'm playing John Legend or Usher or something, we created an album that's full of bangers, but it's R&B from a man's heart that loves Jesus. And so the album is fire, but you feel Jesus all through it because of how it was created and what it was created for. It was created to bring husbands and wives together in communion and in intimacy, and and so hopefully you'll check that out. Check that out too. It's called Masterpiece, and I think you'll enjoy it.
Hold on. Somebody must not be my friend because they knocking on the door. Let me go see who this is, man. We'll be right back. Hold on.
Well, you just gonna leave the interview? You just rolling out like that?
Montell Jordan, how you doing? It's the
Oh,
President Donald Trump. I would like to say thank you for all that you've done. We love your music. This is how I do it. I pop up at the studio right here at KFSM. This is gonna be huge. This is gonna be huge. Listen, this is what I got a proposal. It's Corona. I'm not wearing a mask because I don't care. It's really not that big of a deal. Don't you worry about it. But I'm willing to offer you a $50 million stimulus package. $50 million because you preaching the gospel out here to young black communities, that's just not going to work because we got to hold them down. You know, we got to hold them down. We got to hold them down. $50 million stimulus package. Stop singing, drop the mic, and preach and do whatever it is you want to do. Donald Trump out. Give me a vote. Vote for Trump. What the hell kind of crap was that?
what?
What the...
Who you just let up?
Where's my security at?
Who you just let up into your space?
You know, I wasn't paying attention in the security. I didn't even hear my Rottweiler bark or nothing. I don't know what's going on. So I guess that's what it is, though. He threw the proposal out, $50 million. To just say, hey, man, drop the mic. He wants you to drop the mic. $50 million stimulus package.
Listen, I got to do what I'm called to do, man. I got to do what I'm called to do, and I got peace, man. I got peace in where I am right now. So nothing monetarily. Listen, I had money, I had stuff, I had things, I had notoriety, I had fame. But if you don't have peace, it just ain't worth it, man. It is not worth it. And so, now, like I said, I may not have all the stuff that I had before, but my life is good, man. My health is good. My wife is fine. And I mean, she fine. My kids are healthy. Like, I can sleep good at night. I don't owe nobody nothing. Like, that's like peace, and the Bible says, God give you peace that passes all understanding. Like, nobody would understand it. And listen, I get it. I because I've been there. Can I go get a Bentley? Yeah. But my 2013, what I'm saying, Yukon on the big 24s is just as fine to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to profile for nobody. Well, I love where God has me, and I love that He takes care of me more than I can take care of me. And so yeah, man, I appreciate the $50 million stimulus, but stimulus, still don't bring peace. It may bring some security, financial security, but it don't guarantee peace.
Come across no problems.
There you
Come
go.
on, man. There's no right or wrong answer. Just trying to bring a little light to the
Yeah.
thing because that's what's happening. I know he almost had me. I'm like, man, if I get another stimulus check, I might have to vote for that mug. I don't know. I ain't had too many presidents cutting me checks. So we just try to bring a little fun to that. Shouts out to VINM Radio. Shouts out, man. I see you out there. Thanks for everybody that's tuned into the live. Check it out. Make sure you tip the artist, man. He's taking time out of his very busy schedule to be here with us, man. Montell Jordan in the building, baby. Come on now. That's what's up. So,
Thank y'all.
we got different radio stations and stuff and people tuning in, man, and they don't understand. I'm feeling like a super celebrity right now because you've done interviews with like Steve Harvey, and look, we right here doing our this. Oh, damn,
Yo, you the man, dude. You the man.
How is that? I mean, I've had an opportunity to tour with a lot of artists, Bun B, Little Flip, Little Webby, a bunch of different guys and stuff like that. But to be around the presence of some of the superstars you've been around with and actually have a personal relationship with people like Steve Harvey, how is that when you enter those type of situations, be able to express your life and your calling to other people on that type of main? How does that make you feel? It help you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose? Because I know I sing to the Lord every day to fill that purpose up.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I think God don't waste. He don't waste nothing. You know what I mean? He don't waste no opportunities, and so He got to put people. It's not checkers, man. It's chess. So He put people where He need them to be to do what they need to do. So you and I being on this interview right now, it's not just for you or me or for the radio station. It's probably somebody that never even heard me talk about Jesus like this before, or heard you talk about Jesus like this before. And so it may point somebody in the direction of them finding peace in their life in a very chaotic time. It may be somebody that, God is he funny like that, man. They say he used the foolish things of the world, that wise people don't even understand. So it don't make sense. So I realize every opportunity that I get to be around people, whether they know the Lord or whether they don't, I got to be me, and me being me is loving them. And by loving them in the way that God gives me to love them, it allows them to see the love of Christ without me having to be preachy to them. You know what I'm saying? So I can be around the most thugged out dude who cuss and drink or whatever, and I still can love them, and they, even when they're in the presence, listen, when you're in the presence of God, it changes things. You know what I'm saying? I got dudes I done ran with like forever that's just straight out thugs, cuss, drink, whatever. But when I'm around, they'll be like, okay, let me chill out a little bit. The pastor up in here, so I don't want to change. I'm not going to change who I am, because I am who I am. But I'll at least respect, what I'm saying, that that the pastor's here, whatever, and even, or my other brothers would be like, yo, man, that's the pastor. Why you cool out or whatever. Yeah, right. And that's because when you're in the presence of God, things change. So that's how I look at it, dude. It's a lot of people in the business that love the Lord. Steve Harvey loves the Lord. It's a lot of people out there, but they just haven't went into full-time ministry, because a lot of times ministry is not in the church. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times ministry is on Family Feud. A lot of times ministry is at a radio station, wherever your pulpit is. That's basically your pulpit is wherever the pit you've been pulled from. To be able to stand on that platform or sit on that platform, that's your pulpit. That's where you're supposed to reach people. And God need people everywhere, to be able to reach the people who he needs to reach.
Man, I've been moving the screen around. You can't see it, but I've been moving the screen around because you got a little piece too. Your mic probably costs a little bit more than mine. I don't know. But you got on the shirt to say, even Jesus flipped tables, baby. If that's not the truth, I don't know what it is. Listen,
Yeah,
man, because it's a tough world, man. There's things happening out here. We go through stuff every day. And how do you deal with some of the ins and outs of society right now and still be able to maintain your cool? Because we got a lot of people out there, and it's just a segue into another question that's really just going overboard. You see it on the social media with the Karen, and that's what they calling the racist white lady now, and for some racist black person is about to get a new nickname or something. How do you find yourself to stay around that and stay positive? I just let the Lord do my work for me. I give it to him. He can have it all. I don't want to grant me the serenity. But it may not be that easy for other people. Do you mind sharing that with us?
Yeah, man. We talked early on this interview, and we said, that I felt like God pushed pause on the world. Like he put the world on a universal timeout, and universal timeout, and he called timeout because I believe he wanted everybody in the world to see something. And when he called timeout, and he wanted everybody to see something, he wanted us to not be able to scroll past it, not to be able to swipe past it, not to be able to sleep through it. So, one of the things I heard a young man say, at his graduation a couple months ago, it was a little viral video. He was saying that, that he was tired because he's got to be woke all the time. And black people, if you were to look at their timelines, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired of this. I'm tired. We're tired because as a race of people in America, we have to be woke all the time. When I'm driving in my car, I got to be woke. If you white driving in your car, you don't got to be woke. You get pulled over, you like, what you pull me over for? I get pulled over, I'm like, am I going to make it home? It's just about being aware. Woke means being aware. And so because of that, right now, God didn't just want black people to be woke. he wanted other people to be woke. And so he paused the world so that you couldn't scroll past it, you couldn't swipe past it, you couldn't sleep past it. It's not possible for you to see the world right now and not know who George Floyd is, or not know the Breonna Taylor's murderers have not been apprehended yet, or fired yet, to not know who Ahmaud Arbery's guys. Like, it's impossible. Like, if you are not aware of those things, it is intentional that you don't want to be aware of them, because God is trying to show everybody something so that we can achieve a greatness in our nation and in our world that we can only achieve if everybody is awakened to what is, what people have slept through for all these years. So with that being said, I think the point that I'm making is this COVID-19 time of socially distancing and quarantine and racial tensions and divisions and inequalities and police challenges, all these different things are because, once again, we're going to have a new normal. And I think God is trying to be at the forefront of what the new normal is going to be, because if he's not, then we're going to get some very, very trying times ahead. And so I'm hoping we can navigate and try and be as kind to each other as possible, but also to try and get as many, I'm going to say this, we need as many white folks as possible to be woke, to be aware, because you can't fix the years of slavery. You can't fix years of oppression. Only the oppressor can fix those things. And right now, if we can do that together, we can, I think, build something that's really, really beautiful. And if we don't do it together, then I'm honestly, as a pastor, I start moving more towards the deeper parts of Revelations. That we'll get there a whole lot. we'll get there a whole lot faster.
That's real talk. Listen, man, shouts out to everybody on the YouTube live, man, for joining us. Shouts out to DJ Jeff. I see you in the building. T-Dub, BINM Radio. Miss Reese, I see you out there, man. Mason Bates. Everybody that's in the YouTube live, man. Make sure y'all shouting out. Make sure y'all tipping. Make sure y'all like, follow, and share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because it's going down each and every week like this. And if you're just tuning in, you're fashionably late, so you must be black. You almost missed the whole damn thing, but you didn't. We here with the one and only Montell Jordan, baby. Shout out to Chris Nelson. I see you out there, big baby. So, woke. Said that word woke. I know we only got a little bit of time left, but when I was growing up, my mama taught me about on point. She's like, boy, you better always be on point. You better always be on point. And when I first started hearing the word woke, I'm like, oh, man, I've always been woke. I've been on point. But being on point and being woke are two different things here in 2020, because you always can be on point. But to be woke to the situation that's outside of your realm, going on around you in the world, we need to be woke. I just wanted to say that because I just really learned woke. I'm 44 years old.
No, it's great. And yo, let me say this just real quick too. It's not just about, wanting white people to be woke, or it's all around, yo. It's like, so in other words, if there are people who have influence in certain areas, I know there's some white people that have great influence, and they can influence other people. And they want to say something, they want to say, okay, I'm just now coming on board with what's going on, or just now even knowing what happened to this, to Ahmaud Arbery. Like, I didn't know that was happening to y'all. I'm just now coming in. You know what I'm saying? I'm like the people that might be tuning in right now. I'm just coming into the party. I'm tardy to the party. What can I do, or how can my voice mean something, or what, how can I participate to what can I do? You know what I mean? And so for Black folks to be like, oh, you finally here, that's not being woke.
Thank you.
That's, what I'm saying? That's not being woke. You know what I'm saying? That's like somebody coming into the church or whatever, been a sinner or whatever, and they're like, yo, what do I got to do to be able to know Jesus? Oh, you've been sinning all this time, and now you want Jesus.
To know Jesus.
No, what are you doing? You're not reading the room.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? You're not
Yes.
reading the room. And in order for you to understand when somebody does figure out, okay, I got a purpose in here, I can do something. What can I do? You know what I mean? Or they may say something wrong or get it incorrect. Listen, you might not get it right in the beginning, just as long as you get it. I need you to get it because when white people do want to say something and they say the wrong thing, black folks, we quick to be like, you shouldn't. And what that does, it make the woke folks want to go back to sleep.
That's
Okay,
right.
I wanted to be a part of this. Apparently, I am not welcome here.
I'm
So
not
let me
woke.
get.
I'm not woke.
I'm not woke, and that's not wisdom. That makes
Wow.
us not be awakened to somebody that's trying to come in, trying to figure it out. So I'll say this: I don't know if any white people will be seeing this or will see this. I speak to white America because
Oh,
it's important for us to do this together. And so I would say not just for white America, anybody that's not a descendant of slavery in America. I would say if you don't know what to say or you don't know what to do, and I've been saying this, Deep, if you don't know what to say that. Say, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, but I love you and I'm listening and I'm learning. I love you and I'm listening and I'm learning. And when I see my white friends who they don't understand Black Lives Matter, or they may be in agreement that Black lives do matter, but I don't know if I align with the organization Black Lives. There's a lot of stuff, even amongst blacks, that we don't necessarily come into agreement with. But from that standpoint, when I see somebody say, I don't know what to say, but rather than say nothing, let me just say, I don't know, but I love you and I'm listening and I'm learning. When you say that, that at least says you're awake. Because if you're awake, then you can get the vision, because you have dreams when you're asleep, but you get visions when you're awake. And so we need them to catch the vision while they're awake. Otherwise, we're just dreaming for something that may or may not ever happen because everybody's still asleep.
man, I think you just made a hashtag catch the vision, baby. That's it. Hashtag catch the vision. Montell Jordan, man. Listen, love it. I love it. I love it. I know we don't have a lot more time, man. I wanted to make sure that I did give a super shout out and a thank you to one of my mans, Compton Lightner, man, my partner in crime. Without him, beautiful
I'm
wife, man,
done.
coming together, making sure we had this opportunity to come together, man, and chop it up and really get some things off of our chest. Allow our listeners to hear your story, begging for it. Amazing that we had an opportunity to get it out there, man. Do you have any final thoughts, final comments that you share with the man that people may not know about Montell Jordan? Did you just say, hey man, I am how we do it? Like that
No,
pun, how I did
yeah, I see what you
that.
did there. I see what you did there. Yeah, if I would leave anybody with anything, I would say first of all, if you want to know where to find me, I'm Mr. Jordan, MrJordan, Mr. Jordan 1911 on IG. If you want to look up our website, it's montellandkristen.com. And montellandkristen.com, we are a 501c3 organization, marriage ministry. We support St. Jude's and we support the Special Olympics of North America. And so if you want to be able to know how you can support me or my wife as we are heading out to do marriage ministry and see marriage thrive all over the world, there are ways that you can support us there or see what we're doing, where we're going to be. All that is at montellandkristen.com. And then lastly, I would say, man, if you get a chance, go buy the album. You can go stream the album, but if you want to make a difference, go buy the album. As opposed to going and just clicking Apple Music and just getting it for free or getting it for whatever you pay to be able to spread them little hundreds of tenths of pennies around. If you want to be able to support me and enjoy this new project, if you go to iTunes or go to Apple, wherever, and you actually download the album, $9.99 or whatever that is, that makes a difference. It makes a major, major difference. And it says that I support not just your music, but I support your artistry. And that's how I can sustain and continue to do what I do with my family.
Hey, Reese say, I'm going to buy now. Buy now.
Come on, come on, come on. If anybody purchases the album tonight and you post on IG or whatever that you purchased it, I will repost and say thank you personally for going to get the album because it really does. It means a big, big deal. You have no idea. People were talking about like the looting and stuff that's happening. Oh, all these people this and that, but they looting. Listen, the music business is looting. The music business is taking artists for everything because we create music, we put it out, but nobody's getting nothing off these album sales anymore. So when streaming and everything, we appreciate everybody can stream their music or whatever, but that's just we can't tour as artists. We can't tour. We're not doing concerts. Nobody's performing. There's no shows, you know, and we're not making album sales anymore. So literally, all your artists, your favorite artists out there, are trying to figure out new ways to be able to, to make it happen. That's one way you can help your artist by actually purchasing their music. So
That's what's up, man. I appreciate you being here with us. I got people in my phone that I thought was my friends, but apparently they not because they not on the live. They texting me right now. I just have to try to get this question out one time. Even when you do music, do you do features? If a person wanted to get a feature, get some music for the possibility of a feature with, they go through your website, IG to try to connect with you.
they would probably try and connect through the IG, and I just keep it 100. I'm real selective about doing features and stuff because I got a lot of folks that I love that I will instantaneously just drop a chorus or do whatever they need. But normally it's based on relationship because that's how a lot of stuff works. I'm affiliated with folks that I'm loyal to that I love doing stuff with. But if something is really really hot, I'll consider it. But hopefully, don't make me a jerk because I don't want to get on everybody's record. I'm just, I rock with Lecrae on a joint. I rock with Tadashi on a joint. I got people that are close in proximity to me that I work with well, and so. But I always love to support new music and artists that are doing their thing as well. So I'm open.
All right. Saturday we had a pop up show. We had O-Rock and Two Scoops and
Hey,
C Price. Them boys was on from the Dove Shack. They did a pop up show. They was like, yo, do this on Friday night, like 1 in the morning. Yo, we gonna do an interview in the morning. I'm like, all right. So did that, and I know they wanted me to make sure that I gave you a shout out, man. Before I let you
those are
go,
my
please tell
guys.
everybody one more time where they can go. You're gonna tell them your books, man, one more time. The first book is This Is How We Do It, The Making of a Marriage, right? I'm saying that right? Making a
This
Marriage,
this is how we do it, making
Masterpiece.
your marriage a masterpiece. Yeah. The autobiography is Becoming Unfamous, the journey from how we do it to how he do it. The current album is called Masterpiece, Masterpeace. And like I said, that joint is fire. Current single is called When I'm Around You, features Lecrae. The next single off the album is song number 4 called Celebrate, and it features Tadashi and Crystal Nicole. Fire joint. You can catch me on at Montell Music on Facebook or Montell and Kristen on Facebook, and Montell and Kristen on IG, or Mr. Jordan 1911 on IG or on Instagram. I'm sorry, on all these different places. YouTube is Montell and Kristen on YouTube. We out there, man. We're trying to get it in.
That's it, amen. Well, I'm gonna go buy that album right now because when you did your drop that you was gonna be on here, I just been on Cloud 37 ever since. So I'm gonna go buy the album just so I can get a tweet, an IG, or something from Montell Jordan, man. It's going down. If you're just tuning in, you are fashionably late and you missed the whole damn thing. What's wrong with you, man? You must be black. It's going down. But we had the one and only Grammy-winning singer, songwriter, artist, producer, man, actor, author. It is going down in the building. Put your hands together one more time for the one, the only Montell Jordan, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, we thank you, brother. We love you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep spreading the word because we need it. We need strong, positive black men like yourself touching our youth, man. And I've been moved tonight. I know I'm going to sleep good because I got the word in me tonight, brother. Keep
Yes, sir.
If you need anything, man, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself or Compton, man. And KFSM Radio is here for you.
Yo, let me just say this on the way out. Yo, I salute you, man. Thank you for being faithful over what God has entrusted you with, man. And so I'm glad I could be with you on a Monday night. There's no place else I would rather be than right here. We were supposed to be here. We were supposed to say everything we were supposed to say. And I'm grateful that God will use you. He'll use me. He'll use this platform because he said, if you're faithful over few, he'll make you rulers over much. And so I love that we get to be faithful over whatever he gives us. We don't know who this might reach or who this one person or however many people may reach that knows tens of thousands of people or millions of people, whatever that looks like. God can use the foolish things of the world, you know what I'm saying, to confound wise people. And so I'm just grateful for you and for your platform. And I wish you great success in everything you put your hands to, brother. God bless you, man.
Thank you very much. Montell Jordan, everybody. Make sure you're tuned in next week because, you know, we got Unique INT is going down in the building right here on Celebrity Talk with your boy, Too Deep. We're going to let Montell Jordan go to bed, man. Wash your hands, brush your teeth, all that other good stuff. Wear a mask, 6 foot distancing. Don't get sick because it's real out here, family. It's your boy, Too Deep, and Montell Jordan, and we out. Make sure y'all subscribe, baby.